must be back in reality again.
Hi everyone. Well, I thought I would just do a little bit of a chit chat today. My channel is succeeding, doing very nicely, and my subscribers are growing, and I'm very happy about this. I only started about 6 months ago, but to be honest, I very nearly didn't make this journey. I sort of came around to the idea of it by, I am a positive person, but sometimes we all give in to our fears and our negativity, and you sometimes go, you know, what's the point? If I do this, it'll end up like it did, you know, when I tried things before. But I thought, no, we'll give this another try. So this is my journey of how I ended up on YouTube. I suppose my story might be like a lot of other people out there. I do like to make things, I like to keep my mind occupied, and I like creating things, and I'm never happier than when I'm actually doing something. So I have tried in the past various hobbies, and those hobbies would be not just to make a ton of money, because that's probably not going to happen, and that's not what I'm aiming for. What I really wanted to do was I wanted to show people how you could do this hobby or that hobby, because I find it fun, and it's kind of no more trouble to go to when I'm actually down in my little work area making things than to set up a couple of cameras and film it, because I'm doing it anyway. So that's what I decided to do. But the resin making, that's sometime in the future. So wind back a bit. One of my hobbies back in the day was making things out of stained glass, which I really, really enjoyed. I could really get into that. No, not like that. More like this and this. And I had fun doing that. These examples, they weren't made by me, they were made by other people. All the work that I did back then, that's long gone now. It was a long time ago. But it was a hobby that I enjoyed. Having said that, of course, it was fairly expensive to buy the glass sheets. It was dangerous because you're cutting glass, and some of the bits didn't cut quite as you expected. I was always getting cuts and nicks and scrapes. Had to keep it away from my pets. The soldering too. When I was doing it, you could buy almost leadless solder, but it was more expensive. So I would buy the stuff with a little bit of lead in it. So yeah, talking about health, it wasn't a healthy hobby to do either. And after I'd made a few pieces out of stained glass, I just started telling friends and, you know, mentioning it about my new hobby and what I was creating, and showing them some of the things I made. And yeah, I know this won't shock you, but nobody was interested, unless it was free, of course. And so I stopped doing that, because I thought, well, you know, what's the point? It wasn't in it to make money. I just wanted someone to appreciate what I'd done and say, hey, you know, I really love that. Would you sell it to me? Or, you know, could you make me something? But yeah, it never really happened. So that was a hobby that I didn't pursue that anymore. But then I started getting itchy. I wanted something else to do. That's me all over. Move on to the next thing. So, as I say, that was quite a long time ago. And I started watching YouTube a lot. I'm seeing all the wonderful things that people are doing, people are creating. One of the hobbies that I saw people doing was fusing glass in the microwave using a little kiln. It's a ceramic kiln. You lay your sheets of glass on it, you cut up all your little bits and pieces, you put it in your microwave, and you zap it till it's molten glass. So yeah, this was another potentially dangerous hobby. And I did that for a while. We bought a new microwave for our food, and I used the old one for doing this craft because you never mix the two because of all the dangerous chemicals that come out of glass. You want to keep yourself safe with food. So I used the old microwave, going along quite nicely, creating away, having no end of fun. And as with making resin, you never are really in control of the medium that you're working with. So doing the molten glass in the microwave, it's fantastic things. And I made pendants, earrings, cufflinks, fridge magnets, all kinds of things, and that was another fun, very fun hobby. I really enjoyed that. And apparently I got to that a bit late because everybody was doing it, but I thought, oh, okay. But that's a good thing because by the time I got to making it, there were so many videos out there. I got on YouTube every day and watched something, a tutorial, and thought, yeah, we'll do that. I'll go for that. And yeah, another hobby that I actually had some fun with. But, you know, I've got all this stuff. It's piling up. Let's see if anybody's interested in, you know, purchasing any of these things. So I made myself a Shopify account, uploaded all the photos and the descriptions, and things sat there and sat there and sat there. I think about 6 months or maybe even longer went by. And then I checked in one day and woohoo! I made a sale. Except it was my hubby. He bought one of my things, and that was just him because he saw how despondent I was and how kind of pissed off I was through not reaching people, not getting them interested. And so that was another failure. And I thought, okay, here we go. Stop doing that. So I have loads of things made with fused glass, which, yeah, what do you do with them? So my response to that was the same as anybody else. Enter the despondent phase. Sulky, grumpy, ate chocolate, didn't do a lot of anything, felt, you know, the way you do, kind of, poor me, nobody loves me, nobody loves my stuff, what am I gonna do? And it feels like that because it's important to you, it matters to you, and you just feel, you know, what's the point? But no, I thought, after a little while, I gave myself a good talking to. I said, you know, come on, buck up, girl. You want to do these things. It really doesn't matter if you have a whole house full of stuff and you become a hobby hoarder. Just go ahead and make your things. So, the next things I started to watch were epoxy resin. Oh my God. The things that people create with epoxy resin. I was dreaming epoxy resin projects. So I thought, okay, let's do this. I told my hubby, I said, oh, I'm thinking of doing another hobby. And you can just imagine his response was like, oh my God, another small fortune on chocolate and grumpiness wall to wall. But he is a very supportive person, and he said, okay, let's do it. And he helped me to set up a space where I could do my epoxy resin, because it's not a home-friendly hobby to do. It gives off vapors and it's dangerous, it's chemicals. So we decided to give me a space that wasn't in the house, keep it all away from the pets, from us and our environment. Set that up, and I got to working, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I loved it from the minute I started it. And anybody who makes epoxy resin, I think I would say that it is the kind of hobby that you can do so many things with, and that's why I love it. Hopefully it will be a hobby that I do for a long time. And so I started my creations with the epoxy resin, but unfortunately for me, and I'm not alone in this, I know there are other people out there who've had this, because I've seen some of the photos of what people have suffered, and it was far worse than I had. I had an extreme response to the chemicals in the epoxy resin. I got it on my hand, mostly between these two fingers, and I managed to dab it all over myself. I got a bit behind my ear, and I got it on my face, and I got it up here, and I think once you get it on you, you don't know you're spreading it around. Thank God I didn't get it in my eyes. But the response from that, my hand swelled up. It was extremely painful. And I said to my husband on probably the second day, it's no good, I've got to go to the hospital. I have to go to accident and emergency. This is just too intense for me to say nothing. So we had a couple of trips actually to accident and emergency because it was intense. And I decided, oh, well, I can't do this hobby anymore. It's not worth it. I'm not going to go through that and maybe something worse every time I want to do my hobby. So I stopped that for probably about 6 months. But then I realised I was kind of missing my hobby, and I said to the hubby, look, I know you're going to kind of groan and go, oh really, do you want to, because you know what you've just been through. Do you want to go through that again? And so I went on YouTube and various other places, and I just started looking at how you can protect yourself. Enter the hazmat suit, the respirator, and the gloves, the chemically resistant gloves. That's where that all comes from. And if you see my video, you'll see I literally look as if I'm going into a hazardous materials site. So that's why I always get all my stuff on, and why I'm always saying protect yourself, because you don't want to go through that. Trust me, you do not want to go through that. And that's how I overcame, and so far I've been okay. I've had a few little touches on my hands where I've been careless. It's mostly afterwards when I'm finished and I take the gloves off and I'm tidying up, that somewhere there's a little bit of epoxy resin just waiting for me to touch it and start smearing it all around, which I have done, but it was nothing compared to that very first horrendous experience that I had. And so here I am with another hobby that I'm really enjoying. Don't get me wrong, I love my resin, and I would miss it if I really did have to give it up for health reasons. And hubby and I were just talking, and he said, well, you know, you like to share making with people, and you like to do these things anyway, and it's no hassle to just set up a camera and you go. Why don't you do a YouTube channel? And I'm like, really? Seriously? After all the failures I've had, I'm thinking, I'm not going to go through that again. So he is very supportive, and I thought, well, if he's willing, why not? Let's just go for it and do it. And as I say, so many of us are, let's be honest, we're afraid of rejection. It doesn't matter whether it's from people or whether it's something you do that fails, and you do something else and it fails, and you do something else and that doesn't go well. I think if you just want to do it, regardless of all that, do it. Go ahead and do it. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I just kept going. You know, got past all the pain, literally, of having that hideous reaction to the resin, and just enjoy it. which I am doing. I am having a blast. I love doing my YouTube channel, and I was very reticent to do it because I'm not an extrovert person by nature. I'm happy, but I'm not out there front and center, you know. So I was a little bit nervous about doing that, but I thought, well, you know, stop putting roadblocks in your way. Just do it. And so that's what we did. We made our channel, Pottle's Creations, and I love it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun, which is all I ever want to do. And I'm always advocating, whatever you do, have fun. And that's kind of, I should make a resin plaque saying, whatever you do, have fun. And stick that up somewhere where I can see it as an inspirational guide every day. And I would also like to say, you know, I'm making all these things and I am having fun. But I am also kind of stunned by the number of people that watch my channel. And I have over 500 subscribers now. And I would just like to say thank you. You are part of the reason why I carry on. As I say, I would do it anyway because I love doing it, but it is nice to know that there's someone else out there who's watching and enjoying and commenting and maybe being entertained. And even if you're not making the projects that I'm doing, you like to see them being made, you like to see the process, and you're having fun along with me. I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much to all my subscribers and for all the people who watch and comment. I love the comments. I do try to respond. And if you're new here, if you would consider subscribing, it's absolutely free, don't cost you nothing. Helps me to grow my channel, and it makes my day just to see my subscriber numbers going up, even if it's just a few. I'm just kind of, as I say, kind of shocked almost that people are actually interested, because, you know, my tales of woe and rejection, as I've recounted, here's something that, okay, yeah, maybe it's not going to make me a lot of money. That is not my point. I'm entertaining, and from what some of you, well, quite a lot of you have said, you enjoy watching them. So if I'm cheering you up, giving you something to be entertained by, that makes me happy. That makes my day. And I would just like to thank you all very much for following me and just for being there and helping me. Thank you all very much for that. Well, I hope that wasn't too boring, and I hope that tells you a little bit about me and why I do what I do and why I'm enjoying what I do. And as I say, it's not about the money for me. I do have a store, but I don't expect to make millions out of it. Just enough maybe to cover a few basics. But I'm doing it because I'm having fun, and it's something that I put off for such a long time, which I do kind of regret, but I'm doing it now. And if there are any of you out there who are watching this who kind of in the same situation, you keep putting up roadblocks and roadblocks and roadblocks and letting the negativity get to you, do what you want to do. Make yourself happy. Have some fun. Go crazy. Not too crazy though. So with that said, I will be making something next week. Don't know what it's going to be yet. The old brain's a bit fried at the moment. But I will be thinking up some new ideas. Until that time, I will leave you with a fond adieu. And thank you very much for watching.